Welcome to Bible Times. I'm Willard Pless, and we want to talk a little bit about Jesus' time on the cross today when we study about his crucifixion. And we know that the last 2 years, which is 2024 and 2025, is going to play over again in this world, and this is the last 24 hours that Jesus spent on the cross. 2024 was the first 12 hours, and 2025 is the last 12 hours. And where we are right now, the time that we're in right now, we're at the time of the beginning of the darkness that came during Jesus' time on the cross. And I want to talk about this a little bit and what this means. This time's going to play over again in this world. This world is going to feel what Jesus felt when he was crucified. And we've been going through that since 2024. When April came in 2024, see, this is when Satan came to this earth. And it started this time. The last 2 years, 24 and 25. And we're right now at the time of the darkness begins. When we come to November the 19th here in 2025, this is when the darkness began while Jesus was hanging on the cross. And for the next 2 months, for December and January, is going to be 2 dark months in this world. And this is coming, and we can see this shaping up already. That we learned that the time of the whore is going to be brought to light, which it already has been brought to light, but now the judgment begins. And you can go to Revelation chapter 17 and 18 and read these 2 chapters and see what we're going to be in. See, this is God is going to judge the great whore. And we've been talking about all of this. We started, as I've been looking at how long ago I started bringing some things out and talking about some things, was in 2014 that I began to see things and understand things and begin to talk about things coming forward, and we've been talking about this, but now we're at the time that the darkness will begin. November the 19th here, and we know when we come to November the 22nd, see, this is the anniversary of when JFK was assassinated. This will be the 62 years. And if you want to learn about this, go to Daniel chapter 9. And it gives the time that Messiah the Prince would show up. And we know that this is President Trump that showed up in 2017, is when Israel was back in the land for 69 years. The Bible teaches that God would bring them back into the land, and for 70 years. And he brought them back in 1948, so when they come to the 69th year, that this is when the Messiah, the Prince, would show up. Now, this is not talking about Jesus. It's talking about the beast, the end-time man that's going to come forward, and he would show up, and he would conquer Israel. And he conquered Israel in 2018 when he moved the American embassy to Jerusalem and started the Abraham Accord, which was the peace treaty that the Bible talks about that the beast would make with Israel. And see, Israel and the world is going to go through and feel what Jesus felt in his time on the cross. And that's what we've been going through since 2024. When we come to April in 2024, see, this is when Satan was kicked out of heaven and he came to earth, and all of this has begun. And we've been in it, and we're now coming to the climax. This thing is reaching the climax about the New Babylon, and this is Satan's empire, kingdom that he's going to get set up here on earth. And you can see who he's using. We know that Jesus taught that Satan sows tares into the kingdom. See, God started the kingdom when he built this world. He started this kingdom that we learn about, and we learn that he gave it over to Adam and Eve to have dominion and rule, and so he started the kingdom and gave it to man to take care of. But he told him to not go with the flesh side of man. Don't go that way. Listen to me and walk with me. And Jesus come back into the garden after the day of his rest to get Adam and Eve to walk with him. But see, they had already made their choice. They had already chose the tree of knowledge of good and evil, which is the way of the flesh. See, God formed the flesh from the ground. And Jesus taught that the things about the flesh is the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. And the Bible teaches that these things are not of God, that they came from the earth side. And Satan, of course, he got Adam and Eve to go that way. He encouraged them to not go with what God was trying to tell them, to walk with him and fellowship with him, but he encouraged them to go with self, go with the earth side, do what you want to do. And so he got Adam and Eve to go that way. And that's the way this world went. And Jesus taught about this. He said, he gave a parable. He said it's like a man builds a kingdom and he gets it set up and then he turns it over to husbandmen. And Jesus even gave a parable in the last week of his life about this, that this is what happened when God built this world and he turned it over to man to take care of it, and then he would send servants from time to time to receive some of the harvest, and they began to mistreat those he sent, and then he finally sent his son, and you know, how they treated Jesus as well. So, see, this world's like a plantation that Jesus taught about this in Matthew 13. He said there's a sowing time, and then there's a growing time, and then there's a reaping time. So we're in the reaping time now, and so we're going to see a couple of months here. December and January is going to be a dark time in this world. See, the Bible teaches that at the 6th hour, in other words, that's Jesus was on the cross 6 hours, and then it turned dark. And then for the 7th and 8th up until the 9th hour, which is around 3 o'clock, that the darkness went away. So that means you got 2 months of darkness that's coming here, that this world's going to go through this dark time. And we see it already shaping up, and we know we're getting here to the time that this world will be reaped, that Jesus is going to send the angels, and they're going to reap the harvest of this world. And we learn that when he moves into the heavens, that he's going to send angels to reap the harvest, ones that have been saved and ones that are walking with him, and that this is the time of the resurrection, and they're going to meet him in the heavens for the marriage supper of the Lamb. And then he will come to earth, and then he will take down the tares of the world that Satan is sown. I don't know if you can understand all this. We've been talking about it since 2014. We've been talking about these things and what's happening, going on. People have been saying you can't see, you can't know, you can't understand. And you can't if you don't walk with Jesus. Now, Satan, he's got a gospel in the Babylon kingdom, as we know, and he's the Jesus of the gospel of the Babylon kingdom, and he's got people deceived. And see, the doctrine of once saved, always saved is the doctrine that caused the church world to fall. This doctrine don't teach that you come to repentance and then you lay the flesh away, and don't go with the flesh side. Walk with Jesus in his kingdom, and he'll give you the Spirit, and you'll be able to see and understand what's going on. And see, this is what we've been trying to talk about, the things that are really going on. And the Bible gives these things. And I know you can't see and understand unless you do walk with Jesus. You got to really and truly let him in your heart. You can't just have him in your head and be religious. You can have him in your head and do religious things, and that's what Satan's got the world doing. They're mighty religious. See, that happened during the time of the flood with Seth's descendants and Cain's descendants, that they were religious, but they didn't know God. And then when Jesus came to Israel, they were mighty religious, but they didn't know God. And Jesus said it'd be like that when he returns, and this is the way it is. So you don't want to be that. You don't want to go with just being religious. You want to really and truly know Jesus in your heart, and walk with him, fellowship with him, and that's what we're doing. And we want to give us things as plain as we can and try to help people to get ready because we're in this time. And so pay attention and be sure and call on Jesus and let him in your heart and begin to walk with him and study with us. We're going to be talking about more as long as he'll let us talk and use us. It's him, and that's the way we want it to be. And so you have a great day, and God bless you.